Joe Rogan on gender identity.
We're not saying that anyone's inferior. We're just not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the big problem is.
God created man in his own image, male and female.
People selectively agree with science. It's like when it comes to climate change, like everybody is like pro science, like science all the way. Look at the studies. Even when they don't even understand the studies, like there's a famous, you get in trouble when you bring up Tucker Carlson because people go, "Oh, you're a Tucker Carlson fan." I'm just, as a human being,
I'm not going to get mad.
He made some very good points with Bill Nye. He had Bill Nye on. They were talking about science, and he said, "Okay, if human beings are responsible for climate change, what percentage? What are the numbers?" And Bill Nye really isn't a scientist.
Bill Nye at the Ark Encounter.
So why do all these humans wear clothes? Why do humans wear clothes? I mean, the bulk of humans wear clothes.
That's because there's so many humans. Where are you going with this?
God gave clothes because of sin.
Oh, God gave clothes?
Yeah, he did.
What evidence do you have that God gave us clothes?
The fact that animals don't wear clothes. You say we're animals. No other animal wears clothes.
It gives an interesting perspective of why humans wear clothes.
But, he's a promoter of science, but not really necessarily a scientist. So he doesn't have long-term study and research to climate change. He's just sort of on there in a slightly arrogant way.
Slightly, maybe generous.
Things that I agree with. Like what I agree with is that human beings are responsible, at least in part, with climate change. And this is what all the research points to.
Yeah.
But when Tucker Carlson was pressing him on it, he really didn't have any answers for it. So it's one of those things where like people on the left will blindly support science in one, but then when it comes to gender, you watch his show. He's got this wacky show on Netflix where they're singing songs about gender can be fluid and gender could be this and
there's more than two.
Yeah, there's more than two genders, which he didn't used to say.
Yeah.
If you go back to one of his
I did see that. There was an older episode where they clearly say that gender is binary.
Here's a clip of Bill Nye Saves the World from Netflix.
There's a lot more going on than meets the eye. Female or male, gay or straight, pink or blue. We were taught to see these as binary. Now we're realizing it's more like a kaleidoscope. And this stuff isn't just for adults. Parents know this already. Kids explore gender, expression, attraction before they've ever heard of a spectrum. Take sex. We used to think it was pretty straightforward. X and a Y chromosome for males, 2 X's for females. But we see more combinations than that in real life. And even
back before all this nuttiness stuff.
What makes someone male or female?
God does.
Take whatever they can get. You know what I mean? It's another sexy sliding scale. Throw in gender, it gets even more colorful.
So it's influencing people who are people are deciding instead of supporting science and supporting the research on actual human beings as a biological organism. Instead, we're going with this bizarre politically correct climate, which inclines people to this weird delusional thinking. And as an outsider, that's what's interesting to me, to watch all this. Look at this scrambling. Look at this weirdness.
I have to agree with Joe here and go farther and say it's disturbing.
That we're not saying that anyone's inferior. We're just not the same thing. This is what the big problem is, to try to say, I certainly think we should all have equal rights, but we're not equal in terms of what we are. And it's not that we're not equal, like one's better. It's just like saying a wolf is not equal to a cheetah. They're different things.
Yeah.
And males and females are different things.
Yeah.
And this is clear when you study us as an organism.
In Romans 1, verse 28, God gave them over to a reprobate mind. They did not like to retain God in their knowledge. Back to verse 26, God gave them up to vile affections. Will you stand with God, or will you take the easy route with the world?